Week 7 in the books. Let's go over what we learned. Dylan Gabriel played the best game of his career, in my opinion. I think it was even better than his Red River shootout game last year over Texas. At the beginning of the year, he was completing a lot of passes, but they were all short yardage, very chunk plays, nothing that was really threatening down the field. And this game against an Ohio State defense, he let it rip and he played great. He got Tez Johnson down the field a bunch of times, beating Denzel Burke. I thought Dylan Gabriel had great ball placement for the most of the game, and against the best defense that he has faced maybe in his career, but definitely this year. So kudos to him, man. He played awesome, and what a great win for Oregon over Ohio State. Great, that was awesome. Vanderbilt, they can't be stopped. Again, after a win over Alabama, now they top it off with a win over Kentucky. This team's rolling. Diego Pavia is the real deal. Like I love what Vanderbilt's doing. So I hope that they keep it up, and they are not a slouch on any SEC schedule this year. So that is awesome and great to see. The parity in this sport is blinding. And prior to this year and like in the years previous, I have always been on the side of, I think that the transfer portal and all the new changes in football will really benefit the elites and the top of the class of college football, and it has not done that. And the parity that everyone was talking about that I was not willing to buy into is happening. And there is less of a gap between the top of the teams and the middle of the teams and the middle of the teams to the bottom of the teams. Like the sport is played much closer together than it has been over the past 10 years. And a lot of that has been due to the transfer portal and NIL and all these crazy changes that's been happening to the sport. And we're seeing it play out on the field. So a lot of parity in the sport, which I was not willing to accept before, but it's really blinding right now and really in front of your face. BYU and Iowa State. These two teams out of the Big 12, first of all, coming in, I did not expect either of these teams to be undefeated as we go into week 8. And here we are with both of them undefeated. And both of them playing extremely well. And like these aren't games that they're like squeaking out. These are games that they're dominating. And these are games that they are just obliterating their opponent. So kudos to them, man. That like they have been playing great, both of them. We'll see how the rest of the year shakes out, because the rest of the Big 12 is, like a pinball machine. They're going back and forth, trading wins and losses. We'll see how they continue to go throughout the season. All right, we got to have the conversation. How are we feeling about Lincoln Riley right now? USC is 3-3. They had Penn State on the ropes. We're winning the majority of the game and end up losing a tough one at home. So the Big Ten has not been friendly to Lincoln Riley. And where are we at with him? Do we think that he's probably getting closer to having conversations on the hot seat? Do we think that he's as good as a coach as we once thought? Like, was he really just able to shine in the Big 12 and have an electric offense and be a phenomenal quarterback coach and just have that get by? Because when we did see him in the playoffs, he didn't really do all that well. He had a very close game with Baker Mayfield in Georgia, so you do have to give him credit there. But the rest of his teams has always been a really poor defense and a really great offense. And I think they made strides for defense this year. They definitely are improved from last year, but man, 3-3 is not what USC fans and the USC program should be right now. So we'll have to see what's in store for Lincoln Riley. But right now, it's a lot of turmoil, I feel like, in Los Angeles. All right, our LOLs team of the week, we got Maryland. Maryland was a double-digit favorite to Northwestern and lost by over double digits. They just they can't figure it out this year. Like they're very up and down. I like Billy Edwards sometimes. Other times I just think like, well, what are you doing behind center? So that is just an embarrassing loss for them. So they're our LOLs team of the week. All right, October 12th was circled on every single person's calendar who is a college football fan. In the summer and the spring, everyone was pointing to that date and said, this is going to be the best date of the season. I actually don't even think it was. I think the weekend before was even better. But this weekend was also spectacular, especially in the night slate. You had Florida and Tennessee going into overtime. You had Kansas State and Colorado duking it out late at night. You had obviously Oregon, Ohio State. So like there were some really, and LSU, Ole Miss, fantastic late games. And then obviously you had the USC Penn State game. So October 12th lived up to the billing. October 19th, the next weekend, is also loaded. I'm looking forward to a good weekend there as well. Shedeur Sanders needs to be back in the Heisman race. It's really just been Ashton Genty, Travis Hunter, and then you flip-flop Jalen Milroe, Cam Ward, and I don't even know if they're even really in the top anymore. But Shedeur Sanders, what he's able to do with this offense is incredible. The leading rusher on Colorado had 11 yards. And Shedeur was almost able to pull out a win over Kansas State last weekend. And he's just been really impressive. Threw for 3 touchdowns, like over 300 yards. He's been playing really, really great. And he's an awesome, awesome quarterback. And he deserves to be in the Heisman race. Okay, Friday night continues to deliver. I've been putting this on here the past few weeks. If you're not watching Friday Night Football, you are missing out on some of the best games of the year. This weekend, Friday night, Arizona State defeats Utah. What a game. Cam Scatterboo, just an epic run for the game-winning touchdown. Like, you saw the excitement and the thrill of Kenny Dillingham after that huge win. An Arizona State guy, got to be watching Friday Night Football. They've just been continuing to deliver bangers every Friday night. Follow Big Body Ball CFB on all socials.